Hello. If you're tuning into this, this is my first unboxing. Maybe my last. I don't know how many more I'll ever do, how many more I'll ever buy. Most likely, if you're tuning into this, you're somebody that knows me and got the link. But today I'm going to do an unboxing and maybe a little mini review of a guitar I bought recently. The guitar is a Grote semi-hollow. They call it their Jazz model with the trapeze bridge. And I got it in purple because that's my wife's favorite color. So I'll start. I've got my handy Leatherman with the blade out, and we'll open this thing up and see what we got here. They got it pretty well taped. The box came, they shipped it using USPS. I didn't think they would ship something this big USPS, but they did. And I was watching out the door, and I didn't see when they put it on my porch. I was home, but I wasn't sure how cold it got. So this came yesterday, but I figured inside this packaging, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be inside the gig bag that it comes with. So I figured till the heat of the house penetrated there, if I left it in the box for a while, it would slowly warm up. Because getting cold isn't the issue. It's a sudden heat warming up. You could get finish cracking or things like that. So, or what they call checking. So I left it sit in the house overnight before trying to take it out. So that way it slowly got up to room temperature. Plus, I really didn't have time to do this unpacking video yesterday, so I thought I'd do this today. So it's a Saturday, and I could do this. I can say one thing, they weren't stingy with the tape. Okay, looks like I got it. Get it apart. You know, where's from the top end? Okay, looks like it's going to come off. Okay, so you can see inside here, it is inside the gig bag. And it's all in the reviews, it's a pretty nice gig bag. And so, a few pieces of styrofoam in there I had to keep from shifting around. So, I'd give them an A on well packed. I mean, the box was packed such a way it wasn't moving around. Gig bag says Grote Guitars and Basses since 1989. Now, I know a lot of people aren't real familiar with Grote, but every review I've seen of a Grote, the reviews are good. Now, I mean, if you're playing at a professional level, you're not looking at this guitar. I got this on Amazon at for $1.99. You know, this is, I mean, and I'm not expecting a pro level guitar. You know, the difference, my sound quality probably not be any better with a pro level, with a high-end guitar as versus this. And the reviews all had good sound. I've only been playing stringed instruments 6 years and guitars 2.5 years, and I wouldn't even call myself yet an intermediate on guitar, probably advanced beginner. But I've been around instruments enough that, I mean, I can tell looking at a guitar, try to pick it up, play around on it, with, you know, and I've worked in engineering, so I can tell quality of build. I don't have to be an expert guitar player to tell something's built well. And Okay. There's probably a gap because I didn't realize my thing defaults to 5 minutes and I'm not sure where to change it. So I ran out of my 5 minutes. Okay. So apologize for that. So inside there, it's inside this white layer of foam, which when it was warming up provided another layer of insulation and everything. So we are going to pull this off. Yeah, so it's packed very well because even though it was inside a gig bag, it was inside this white foam to help keep it from getting messed up. So they are certainly not chintzy on the bill. Now, woo! Does this thing look nice? I bought the thing in purple, which happens to be my wife's favorite color. On the initial glance, this is just initial glance, I haven't looked it over close, I give it a wow. If you have a scale 1 to 10 or to 5, I give it a 5 on a wow. The only thing I noticed, this truss rod cover thing is a little off center. But screw probably just needs tighten. Oh, it's got the Grote logo. The headstock shape, sort of reminiscent of a Gibson. Not exactly. It doesn't have the double. It doesn't quite have the book cover things. Doesn't have the dip out, but close enough because they're going for like an ES335 style. So you don't want to put a Fender style headstock or something like those on it. So it's nothing crazy, but it's the set neck. Got your strap button there, strap button on the end. There's your jack for plug-in. Sealed tuners, definitely no name, but at this price point, you're not expecting, Grovers or anything like that. And Garrett's again says Grote since 1989, and some kind of serial number in there. The neck, well, I like the neck. It's got I don't know if it'd be a D shape. It's a shallow neck, which I like a thinner neck. It's a shallow neck. It's a gloss finish, but it's not. Doesn't have too much drag. Now let's see if I can feel any fret ends. Barely can detect that there's frets there. Barely. So, I mean, they're there, but you're not going to rip your hand on them. You're not going to come up with a bloody hand when they're there. And those look like inlays. I'm trying to figure out, maybe my eyes aren't good, but they don't look painted on. Because I have one inexpensive guitar they're just painted on. The binding looks nice. You got binding front, top, and bottom. Get the double binding. You have that sticker says made in China, which at this price point I didn't expect it to be made anywhere else. But not that that's a terrible thing. I have several excellent Chinese made instruments. I've got some good Korean instruments and some good Indonesian made instruments. The only thing I have made in the U.S. is I have a very old Harmony that has the neck's bowed, but you got your two humbuckers here. I'd say aesthetically the only thing I might have chosen a different color would be that red pick guard. Some people might not like the red with the purple. I'm ambivalent. I'm fine with that. It's not my top choice, but it's not terrible. So this 5-minute section's about to end. So I guess I'm going to have to get software to splice these all together, figure out how to do that. Okay. This is about ready to hit the 0. Okay. I'm back after that brief thing. I'm gonna have to learn how to do some editing to put these all to put the stuff all together. I was trying to avoid it, but couldn't help it. Here's your trapeze style bridge. Granted, it's made of Chinese metal, so but then again, you're not expected to put a real heavy load on it. So you get a Chinese bridge. You got your 2 humbuckers. They're whatever brand. I mean, they're not, they're not any name brand that you're gonna, any of us would recognize. You got dot markers. It does have your position markers on the side. Every now and then you run into some cheap stuff that doesn't have dot markers. That usually happens more on the ukuleles than on the guitars. Then you got your 2 sets of knobs for each humbucker. Now, what I'm probably going to do, I did order a set of Elixir strings for this at the same time that I ordered this guitar. They haven't arrived yet. So I will tune this up with the strings that came on it. But I'm a little nervous because the one video I watched, the guy said he did break the high E string when he was tuning it up with the original strings, which he said he didn't really care. He was planning on changing it soon afterward. He just tuned it up with what it had just so he could give it a quick roll, quick test. So then he just put on his strings of choice. But I'm assuming being at this price point, they're watching every single penny. So, so I'm expecting, that these aren't good strings. That's the reason why I ordered Elixirs right away. Because they happen to be my favorite string. Not that I'm any expert on strings, but some people, especially one person I follow heavily on YouTube, he uses nothing, and he's a professional, and uses nothing but electric strings, and that's what he recommends. And he doesn't get compensated for it. He just thinks that's the best string. The F holes are routed out well, and from what I can see in there, everything looks tidy. You tap in here at the center, semi-hollow, should be a block of wood going down through here. Definitely sounds like it, because you get out here, you hear the hollow. And they do have binding around the F-holes. Some of your really cheap ones, you see the edges of the wood, or they just stay in it. But it's got binding on the F-holes, which is a nice little touch. I mean, because remember, when we say $199 for this thing, I bought gig bags for my other guitars that don't have didn't come with one. And this is as good as anything I bought for like $35. You might find one for $25, but it would not be as nice as this one is. So maybe 30. So even if you just say $30. And let me check the pocket, because I believe a few things come in the pocket on this thing. Let's see if they threw any goodies in the pocket. I think they're supposed to. Let's see if I can get the pocket open. Yeah, you get a cable to plug in, and a couple picks, and then an Allen wrench to adjust the truss. So you figure the cable and the picks, $10, and then say it was $30 for the gig bag. That means you pay $160 for this guitar. If you've been pricing semi-hollow bodies, you know that any of the brands, and I know, are 350, 375 start. I think you can pick up a low-end Ibanez Art Core for like $375, Epiphones $399, $160. Now, am I saying it's as good a quality as those? Probably not. But I'm thinking you're getting a tremendous value here. Okay, back again. Yeah, I use a low end. I'm using a low end rig. I'm using a Samsung Galaxy 6 AS that was given to me by a friend, and he upgraded to his high end. At the time, this was flagship phone, the one you could put underwater for 30 minutes and drop it, called the Active, and it was the top of the line at that time. But he gave it to me, and I use it for Skyping. I do it when I Skype, and it does, and I've done it for my other videos I've recorded. It doesn't do a bad job. But anyways, so like I said, I'm just giving you my initial impressions. I'll probably do a tune up here soon, and then play a little bit. Not that I play great, but what my point was saying, if I get anywhere near the tone that I heard on the videos that I've watched of this, for $160, this meets my semi-hollow body needs. Because I'll tell you what, I was looking at semi-hollows. I've been looking at them used. I have never seen anything. The only thing I've seen under $300 were no names that I didn't know anything about, and then they were asking 100, they were asking 200. So I did better than anything I saw available used in my area. Now, granted, I put in no more than 50 miles from Dallastown, where I live. You know, that covers most of York, down into Maryland, almost to Baltimore. So I am more limited than what I find like on Craigslist or that other OfferUp. I'm using like the same range. So what I'm saying used, and I've made people offers. I've never got an offer that may even go down to 200. I paid 200 and got a gig bag. So, and those ones that were down low, even close to what I was rated, were off brands too. They were some Chinese thing that there'd be no reason to believe at best that they would be the same quality as this, but not better. I got this brand new. And here's the other thing. I bought it, when I bought it from Amazon, it says right here in my order, returnable until January 31st. I don't even have to have a reason to, all I have to do is say, I don't like it. Now, I don't have to say, well, it's broken or this or that. All I have to do is say, you know what? It's not really what I wanted, and I can send it back. So I can, you know, and if I haven't figured, and shame on me if I haven't figured out by the end of January whether or not I like it. So, you know, I couldn't really go wrong. And the big thing for me was I had several gift cards that were given to me, and so I really didn't have to take anything out of my budget. So it was guilt-free. You know, it was stuff that was given to me, gift cards given to me to buy something that I just enjoy, not pay the bills with it or do something like that, some gift cards. So I've always wanted one of these because, as many of you know, I'm a huge Chuck Berry fan, and now he played a real Gibson ES335. But that would be wasted for me. And if I had a Gibson 335, I'd be afraid to take it out of the box, afraid to play it, afraid to bang it into something, afraid to drop it. So I couldn't even enjoy a real 335. But these 335 type semi-hollows just produce a tone that's neat. And some other famous players have played 335 or one of the variants like a 345 or something. Or, you know, people like B.B. King always played something those lines. Roy Orbison. Even Eric Clapton has done a lot of famous recordings on a 335. So they just produce a tone that you don't get on a solid body. You know, I have my other favorite guitar, well, my favorite electric guitar, put it that way. I have a Square Telecaster. And again, I'm perfectly happy with my Square. See, not all of us, some of us can be realistic that says, nope, I don't need that $2,000 guitar. And today, you can get plenty of decent tone out of an inexpensive guitar. So, I know I'm running long here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop. I'm going to be tuning this thing up, and then I'll start back. I'll come back to you when I have a look, you know, something so you can hear a little tone. I want to play it a little bit acoustically, just to see how it sounds acoustic, and then I'll plug it into the modest little amp I have. And so we'll see what we get. See you in a few minutes. Okay, back again. If you stuck with this long, something I realized that I did not, when I I tuned up, nothing broke. Something I realized where I made a mistake in when I run out of mistake, just something I forgot to order. Forgot to order a strap, and I was trying to play this thing before I tuned back in on without the strap. This thing's just, well, with a person with a belly my size, I'll put it that way. Maybe somebody smart could get it nestled in their lap better. And the glossy, it was a little slippery. It moved around a little bit too much. I could play it much better with a strap. This thing, and really most guitars you need a strap. It's really hard to, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're going to play classical style, but I'm not really into that. I'm not able to do that. Well, I wish I could, but I've not tried that really much yet. So anyways, so I'm going to, when I get done here, I'm going on Amazon and ordering a strap. So, because I had to borrow one from one of my other guitars, and I want to play, so I'll have to order another strap. So yes, I put a strap in. I plugged it into my, now this is probably not the best guitar for this, but I play pretty much clean. I just plugged it into my little Epiphone Studio Acoustic 15. And it's a great guitar, but I mean it's actually a nice little amp because it also has a microphone input. It's great for a guy like me. It's great for you plugging acoustic into. You go to a place to play in a small venue, and I play in very small venues, so it'll play loud enough in the rooms I go in, and you can plug a mic into it, so you have both. And in worst case, some places you just put the PA in front of it, but I have both instruments. I can have my own mic and acoustic guitar, but it plays okay with electric guitars. I plug my Squire into it, plays nice. It just, you don't get any effects. Now, if I really want effects, here's how I cheat around that. I have my Vox headphone amp, which you can put some gain and distortion on that. I plug this in the electric guitar. Then on the headphone out, I got the 1/8" to the 1/4" jack and then plug that in. And the guitar, then the amp gets plenty of effects and you can do it. Now, the one nice thing, this amp does have one nice effect that's really nice. And you can't use it all the time. If you overuse it, it's called chorus. And I like the chorus. It has a nice sound. But anyways, first I'm going to turn the amp off a second so you can hear this guitar acoustically. I'm going to play just the same little riff of Come Thou Fount, just so it's consistent there across, so it's not a difference in the playing, but just so you can hear the instrument. Oh, I got my microphone down on the floor. Ooh. Hope I didn't bust anything. So I'm going to put my microphone on, just so I hope you heard me in the beginning. You know what? The semi-hollows do have a half-decent sound without being plugged in. I mean, it's still not great when they're plugged in, but it's better than my telly is plugged in. You can hear it. Okay, so that's, you know, I just want to give you an idea what it sounded like acoustically. I'm going to set it here on the top bridge and the top pickup, and I have it about halfway on the gain. So we'll see what we get. And I really have no real, I have this set on the, all my settings set at 12 o'clock on there. Oops. I'll turn the volume down a little bit. Top bridge. I'm about out of my time. Okay, next session we'll go both pickups. That was me, not the guitar. Now we'll do just the bridge pickup. That has a little bit darker sound. I'm going to go back to the middle to see a little bit of finger style, or a little bit of double stops there. Oh man. Well, it was a combination of me not being that good and just getting used to visually the cues on the neck just seem a little different than what I'm used to on my other guitars. So it's going to take me a little bit to get used to this guitar because I'm not good enough to where just jumping on guitars really change it. I'm going to see how it sounds on just the neck pickup ones. Yeah, but orientation, I'm not used to looking at these neck markers. I keep getting on the wrong fret. They say it's a poor workman that blames these tools. I'm not going to blame any of the mistakes of my tools. The final wrap up is, I like this guitar, and once I get used to it, I think I'll be able to produce as good. The guitar is not going to keep, if there's any lack of tone, or any lack of or quality. I said I was wrapping up, but I didn't even wrap up. You know, if you're looking for an inexpensive semi-hollow body guitar, it looks sort of like an ES335 and looks beautiful. You know what? The price of this guitar, you can almost justify it just for something to hang on your wall to look at. And then you get the bonus that you can play it and it plays decent. You know, this is a really good value. I mean, if you've looked at the price of semi-hollows, you know, I understand there's why they have to cost more than a solid body. There's a lot more work involved. You got to make the arch top. You got to, there's more to it. There's more work to it than a solid body guitar. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Manufacturing wise, there's probably, producing this body is probably at least twice as many hours as producing a solid body. So, you know, and they got to pay people to do that work. So there's just no way you can make one of these cost as cheap as a solid body. So they're always going to be pricier. And you have to factor this in, because of the stuff involved in this, you're going to have more of them get screwed up. So you're going to have more scrap, you're going to have more quality issues, more costs because of having to throw stuff away, you know, and the time spent paying the people to make the one that you threw away. That's going to happen more than you would have with a solid body, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking this thing over. I don't see, I mean, the craftsmanship on this is incredible. You know, I just can't believe the craftsmanship. I mean, I've not seen any flaws. I mean, when I've been looking it over, I haven't seen any flaws in the finish. Now, your mileage could vary. I mean, I don't know how varied Grotes are from one to the next. All I can speak to is this one, and the fact that I've watched a couple other reviews, and the quality control, whichever company they're using, has excellent quality control. I mean, I'm looking at the action on this is great. I haven't put the tuner on and checked any intonation. I can try and give a quick check on that just to get an idea how we are at the 12th fret. Take a little bit for it to stay in tune, but you got to expect that new string, new guitar. Let's check it at the 12th. Oh, only off a hair. Only off a hair at the 12th. Let's try the next string. A little off. I'll have to play around a little bit with the intonation. Oh, and it's easy enough to do that. The screws on here are a little easy. But from the factory, that's very livable. Okay, let's try the next one. Same. Let me tell you. Yeah, this thing, not off by much. I mean, I'll have to get my little screwdriver out and just give it a little tweak, but we're not talking much. And height was about perfect. I really wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it any lower than that. And you know, it's the action. You know, the nice thing about these is the 24 3/4 inch scale length like you get in a Gibson Epiphone. So I really, I'll tell you what, you really have to look hard to find something to complain about on these. You really do. I mean, and a guitar that's shipped to you that was built in Asia, the fact that I might have to make a little adjustment on intonation, you know, hey, you could buy a $2,000 guitar and still have to adjust the intonation a little bit. So, you know, so I'm not going to give it a strike, especially when the intonation, you know, I put my bar on, it's like off like one needle, two at the most bars. Can't, again, you just can't beat this thing for the money. It is a good deal. Quality of the sound, it's not this, it's me. So, you know, so I just think I'm just going to wrap up this mini review on that I highly recommend this.